Want to learn how to draft a pattern for this dress, the sleeve and the flare? Keep watching. Hi seamstress, welcome back to my channel. Hope you had an amazing weekend. If you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe. We have amazing videos in the channel. In today's video, we shall be learning how to cut this style. The video is going to be in series and this is part 1 of it. Sit tight, let's get started. So on the board here we have is a basic bodice, and the basic bodice has some lines drawn on it, and it also has a broken line here that forms a circle. This circle here is known as your bust radius, and then these red lines, as you can see, are the contour guidelines that we have. There are 2 more, I think, yes, that are not currently on the board. So now with the style I'm going to cut, we're going to take into consideration the contour guidelines. I would draw them on the basic bodice and then go ahead and apply the contour where necessary after drawing my style line. So here's my basic bodice. I have gone ahead and drawn my bust radius, which I may likely adjust when I close this that and open another one here. So this line here is our bust line. That is from the shoulder to the nipple. This is the line here, bust line. Next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and close this dart here. It is important to note that before this dart here is created and before this one here is closed, this line here has to be slashed to the bust point, so this dart here would be able to close neatly without a problem. So I'm just going to go in. The slash line is going to be to stop at exactly where the bust point is, but it shouldn't do more than that. Next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and slash this line as well. If I don't do it like this, I would not be able to close this dart conveniently. Now this slash I'm making is going to reach the bust point, but be careful not to cut it off. You don't want it to be completely off. You want it still attached like this. Now be careful not to cut it off. You just pick it up like this and then you bring it towards the center front. This is because the rule of dart rotation is that your dart must be rotated at all times to the appropriate direction, and for this dart, the appropriate direction to rotate it to is towards the center front, and this is what we have here, the dart. Now let's put it back like this. Assuming we decide to do it the other way around, you'll notice that the movement will not work. So this is the appropriate way to go ahead and rotate your dart. Go ahead and hold it down like this with a tip. If you notice here, our shoulder is uneven. This is where the neckline stops and this is where the shoulder is. So what you're going to do next is just to go ahead and then redraw your shoulder line. And this is what we have right now. There will be no need to redraw our bust radius because after closing this dart, it doesn't affect the measurements of the bust radius. We still have a perfect circle. So what I'm going to do next is just to go ahead and impute our contour guideline that we may use in this class. Now, I said may because our style line is going to be what determines what we're going to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure the entire neckline like this and find the midpoint. Mark it and then go ahead and create the contour guideline. At this point here, which is the mid neckline, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a straight line to our bust points. Then at this point here, we would apply the contour measurements. For guideline number 1, which is this one, the measurement is 1/4 inch. So towards the front here, I'm just going to measure 1/4 inch like this. On the bust radius, then go ahead and create the guideline. So we have successfully created this guideline.
The next guideline we're going to create is the one at the shoulder point, like this. To do that, we're just going to go ahead and draw a straight line from the tip of our shoulder here to the bust point. The contour guideline is 1/2 inch. So on the circle here, I'm just going to go ahead and measure 1/2 inch, which is this. And draw it. First, I'll draw a line like this, slanted line. So we have contour guideline 1 and 2. I'm going to use a red pen now for contrast, so you'll be able to follow and see what I am doing. But before then, I'll start with a pencil. When I get what I want, then I'll go ahead and continue with the red pen. To determine how wide I want my neckline to be, I'm just going to go ahead and measure my entire armhole like this. I have 8. Divide by 3. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and take the measurements and mark it here, what I have at the armhole area. Now from this point, I'm going to go ahead and take a measurement that is the exact measurement I got around here and mark it here as well. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and draw a straight line to this point. This is the beginning of my neckline, but I would want it to come down to this point. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and then bring it down to 1 inch below my bust radius. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue with the line until I get to the mark. Okay, and this is what I have. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that this is the end of my neckline. So from here now, I can safely draw a line that comes like this, a temporary line that comes like this. This is just to guide me in drafting the neckline. Next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and do something like this from this angle here. Okay, so this is my neckline. I'm going to use a red pen now because I have what I want. So this here is my new neckline. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out so you would see what we have. We have a contour guideline around here. That is this. And we have another contour guideline around here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and shade the contour guidelines so you'll be able to see them. Next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and close up this place. To do that, I'm just going to go on and slash this line here to the bust point, but careful not to cut it off. Then go ahead, pick up these pieces and then bring it over like this to close up the space here. And this is what we have now as our new neckline. So I have repeatedly stated that there aren't crooked lines in pattern drafting. For that reason, we're going to blend this place and ensure that everything is perfect as it should be. So I'm going to go ahead and place a brown paper under like this. This is perfect for contrast, and then hold it down like this using a curve. So we have blended it. So I'll go ahead and trim off the excess paper like this. The new neckline redrawn. So we're done contouring this part of our neckline. Now the next thing we're going to contour is this part here. Unfortunately, part of it has been has entered our style line. That is the new neckline we're working with. So what I'm going to do is just to go ahead, cut off this. So now that I have held this place with the tape, next thing I'm going to do is to bring this over and try to close in the gap. While I do that, I'm going to ensure that I do not alter the shoulder measurement around this area and that this place is fully protected, because I don't want a situation where the shoulder will be altered. I want the shoulder measurement to remain as it is. So I'm just going to do it gently and carefully like this, and then comply with the contour guideline. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use a tape to hold everything down together. So this is it. If you notice, there's a gap here that needs to be closed, and this was created while we were contouring. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and place a brown paper under so that you would see it and redraw this line. You can see the contrast. So I'll go ahead and redraw this line. Okay, and this is what we have all in all. Now to the back. So for the back, we're not going to do much. All we're just going to do is make this neckline deeper. And I'm going to do that with 1 inch. Just to use 1 inch. And then redraw our curve. Trim it off. At this point here, we're going to contour. To do that, we're going to measure 1/2 inch here. At the upper part here, we're going to measure 1/8 of an inch. Using a curve, would connect this 1/8 to the center back line. It's supposed to be a curve. Good. And then using a straight line, we'll connect this part to the center back. Then we'll go ahead and trim off the excess. We're not done contouring. We'll then go ahead and measure another 1/2 inch here. Using a straight line, we'll connect it to the side line. All this we're doing is just so that our zipper would lie flat. And this is what we have. Now for this dart, we're going to transfer it to the armhole area. To do that, we're just going to go ahead and measure the entire armhole like this. we have 8.5. So 8.5 divided by 2 is going to give us 4.25. So we'll go ahead and measure 4.25 like this and mark. Now from this mark, you go ahead and measure 1 inch upwards towards the shoulder. To get an even straight line, you measure from this line here to this point you mark. That is the second mark you made. And see what you have. You then go ahead and implement the same thing. You're just doing this to have a straight line, nothing more. You then go ahead and draw a straight line like this. Next thing you're going to do is to go on and extend this line here. That is the one with the dot. And this is what you have. You slash to the line that was drawn. Careful not to cross it. Very close to the line, and then you stop. You then go ahead and slash this line as well. Careful not to cut it off because there's an initial slash already. Then you go ahead and rotate this by doing it like this. Okay. This now becomes our new shoulder. So I'll go ahead and place a brown paper under like this and blend the armhole so we'll have a new armhole. So using the curve, I'll just go ahead and blend it so we'll have a new armhole. Trim off the excess. And that's that for the back. A brief story. I also sell Ankara fabric in wholesale, retail, and I deliver everywhere in Nigeria, regardless of your location. We'll have it delivered to you. So this fabric is actually one of the fabrics that I'm supposed to sell. Unfortunately, when I opened it, I found out that it has been joined in the middle somewhere here, 2 places actually, and the edges of the fabric were not well finished, and for a brand that is known for quality, I couldn't sell this to a customer. I decided to use it myself. This is the second part here that has been joined. Enough of this. I'm going to put a link in the description box in case you like any of my fabrics. We'll do business together. Now back to this. I have placed the pattern already on the fabric and I've gone ahead and added allowance. To the end here, that's the center back here, I have added 1 inch zipper allowance. The neckline is 1/4 inch. The shoulder here is 1/2 inch. The armhole area 1/2 inch. The side here 1/2 inch, and then the waistline 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut. The fabric is on fold, which means I'm cutting 2 pieces of the back. So this is for the back. Next, let's cut the front. So just like the back, I have gone ahead and added allowance. This is 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, quarter, 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do next is to go ahead and trim off the excess. For that, there's a video in this channel. I'm going to put a link to the video in the description box. It tells you how you can go ahead and transfer your dart from the pattern to your fabric. So I will not be doing that in this video. Put it in the description box. You click and our front is cut on fold. You should take note of that. And this is what we have for the front. I'll go ahead now and transfer the dart to the fabric, stitch the dart, and then we'll be back. In the next video, I'm going to teach you how to go about cutting the lining for this dress.